Leaving Kurita was kind of insane. The four of us, me, Eric, Alex, and Julie, all got in one van together. We needed to go to the ATM and then to the bus station. We negotiated with the driver of the van to pay 20,000 rupiah. Everything was going fine. He drove down the road for a little while, and then he just decided to get out and came to the side door, requested the 20,000 rupiah from us. We paid him and asked him if the driver that was stepping in was going to be fine with that. He assured us that everything was cool, and the driver went on. He stopped at the ATM. We got the money out that we needed. The driver went maybe like 20 feet from there. He pulls over and starts talking to someone, and then turns around requesting money from us to continue driving. And we just repeatedly tell him, we've already paid the previous driver, we've already paid the previous driver. Soon enough, the entire town is at the door of the van trying to translate what the driver's saying, but nobody speaks English, and we just continue to tell him we've already paid, we've already paid. Soon enough, the driver starts going, but he manages to turn the van around in the opposite direction of the bus station. So once we figure out that this guy doesn't give a crap about the four people sitting in the van that need to go to the bus station, we try to just repeatedly tell him bus station, bus station, bus station. Eric ends up getting extremely angry, puts on his angry face, and makes that guy pull over. We get out. We don't have any maps of the area, and a man approaches us and we ask him which direction it is to the bus station. He actually points in the wrong direction, just basically being dishonest. We are then surrounded by a bunch of motorcyclists who are offering to take us to the bus station for tons of different prices. Alex and Julie, they negotiate their price, and they're on their way to a minivan that's heading to the destination of their choice. We then negotiate our people to get to the bus station. The negotiated price was 10,000 rupiah. I get on one, Eric gets on another, and we head down to the bus station. We see Alex and Julie as we're going down the road at their minivan. Hope everything went well with them. Once we get to the bus station, which is only a few more minutes down the road, the guy then asks for 20,000 rupiah. And at this point, we're just so stupefied with the situation, we just laugh at them. And he laughs back like he knows that he completely just tried to take more money from us. So we paid them what we were cool with, and we went over to the bus station, which we are immediately approached by a man who we ask, how can we get to Bogor, which is where we're going? He says you can't go directly to Bogor, you have to go through Jakarta, which we already kind of knew that was the fact. So we ask him what bus is going to Jakarta, and he tells us this is the bus that's going, and we try to negotiate a price with him. And he actually says 50,000 rupiah, which we were expecting 80,000 rupiah. So when he said 50,000 for the two of us, we were extremely excited. We got on the bus and we sat down. He comes up a few minutes later and requests the 50,000 rupiah, and we've kind of started to learn our lesson, so we say, where's the driver? And we just start requesting that somebody who's going to be on the bus take our money so that we have kind of a verbal agreement that we've paid for this ride. That guy slowly just saunters off, and we never see him again. He was literally trying to get 50,000 rupiah out of us before the bus left so that he could just get paid for nothing. I don't know. A guy that's on the bus, once we start going, he actually requests 100,000 rupiah, which is really $10. Don't think these are scary prices. That's how much it cost to get there, so we decided not to argue with him. We paid him his 100,000 rupiah, and we made our way to Jakarta. Needless to say, after all of the bartering and annoyances that come along with the buses and with minivans, we decided once we got to Jakarta that we wanted to try the train system. And that turned out very, very well. Travel by train in Jakarta. Dear Lord, travel by train. After 5 days here in Indonesia, we have basically decided that we're going to step off to one more place, and if it doesn't work out, we're going to leave Indonesia, because we've been traveling for 4 months and we have never had to deal with this much dishonesty, and that's just, it makes things hard and unenjoyable.
The doors on this train just opened at a stop, and the cabin filled with these like horrible little bugs. They look like bees with really big wings. I don't have any idea what they are, but there's not as many in the air as there were a few minutes ago. They're getting sucked up to this vent, but there was an awful lot of them, and it was kind of a surprise. Here's another example of really cheap things in Indonesia. This is soap. You can buy a single bar of soap. This is Lux, which is like good soap. It's designer, like kind of. It's like the equivalent to Dove. It works really well. It's just, you know, good stuff. It's not ghetto, and it is about 19 cents for one bar. So, I mean, what's that cost in the States? $1.50 or something? More? I don't even remember anymore. Tube of toothpaste, 40 cents. I'm not sure the brand.
$4.89 for the huge one.
Or a huge tube, big tube. It's 89 cents, or 90 cents about. Dove, let's see, something they would have in the States is what I'm looking for. Maybe somebody can tell me if I'm crazy or not. Here's Head and Shoulders. It's about $1.70 for some Head and Shoulders, 180 milliliters. So I have no idea what that works out to, how much that would be in the States, but it's like $1.60, $1.70. All right, so here's an idea of what we just spent at the supermarket. And if you look at what we just bought, you're gonna think all we do is eat junk food and sit around and wash ourselves and brush our teeth. But that's only most of what we do. We ended up getting 3 bottles of water. This is only 2, we already drank one of them. Each bottle of water is 620 milliliters, just to give you an idea on the size of everything else. This is a standard sized soda. It's like a strawberry drink. We haven't tried it yet, but we'll find out. This is your typical, you put, you know, hot water, instant noodles type thing inside of it. 2 bags of peanuts, 2 things of toothpaste, a roll of grape Mentos, and 4 bars of soap. And it came to like $3.20 after you do the conversion. So yeah, next time you go to Walmart and you buy anything, just, you know, keep that in mind, and it'll make you feel better about what we're doing. Alright, it's been a while since I've made a video of any place that we've been staying, and it's been partly because we haven't been any place any place remarkable or interesting. They've just been kind of your normal everyday like place. But this place is kind of interesting, so I thought I'd make a video of this. And also because we're in Bogor, and there's nothing else to make a video of. We came here, we're going to use it as a jumping off point to go to Eastern Java, but on the way here I was looking at the book and looking at our timeline and decided I want to try to get Komodo, so we have to kind of go back the other direction to get there. So this was kind of a waste of time coming here, but worse things have happened. We ran into some people that we went to Krakatau with when we got here, which is kind of remarkable because it's long distance between the two. And the first night we got here, we hung out with them and we went to dinner and went to a market and got some fruits and stuff. So it was kind of cool. And then yesterday we got up and kind of did nothing, and then went to some botanical gardens and spent some time on the internet, and that was about it. So it's pretty relaxing. But anyway, back to the guest house. Now, you're caught up completely on Bogor. That's all we did. So we're going to try to escape today, either on a train or a bus back to Jakarta, so we can try to catch a flight to go to Bali. Then we can take a flight to Flores, which then we can take a chartered boat to Komodo. There's a lot of travel in our near future. So anyways, this is a place. Abu Pensone or something is what it's called. And from the outside, it just looks like your standard Indonesian little villa, whatever. Like it's gonna be dumpy. And then you come inside. And it gets pretty amazing, actually. Like, you get into this like section in here, and it's just well gardened, and there's all this amazing stuff, and it's like kind of like a labyrinth. Like there's stairs going up everywhere, and there's another set over there, and then you've got a spiral staircase over here. And the weirdest thing is this little area here is just really bizarre for like a cheap hotel place in Southeast Asia. It feels like a Western living room, like a lot. And we sat here and watched some movie last night on this large TV and the stereo speakers. And I mean, this is really out of place for what we're used to. And then they've got a kitchen. These steps come up here, and then you can go up a little further, and there's a kitchen up there and some places to eat.
And the spiral staircase always catches my eye. It's weird. It's really much nicer than what we've been staying at. And I mean, I think the room is maybe $14 or $15 a night, so it's definitely not breaking the bank. And our room is down this direction. Like I said, it's like a labyrinth. Like, here's some more steps. It's just, you can get lost looking for your own room. And then you can go down further to another room, and it's kind of got a view of this little river, and the river isn't all that good looking. It's pretty funky, actually. Definitely not the nastiest one there is, but it's obvious that the people over there just throw their trash right there, and there's definitely some sewage exhausts that shoot out there. There's no odor or anything though, so it's not all that bad. But the sound of the river at night, we can hear it really well in our room because our windows are right there, and it's really pleasant to just hear this, river flowing. And it beats all the other things that we've had to listen to while we slept in the past. And here's our room number blank 06. Are you decent? Okay. And this is our room. And it is clean, and there's a television, which is kind of odd, but no air conditioning. But it really wasn't that bad. We've got a fan, and it actually gets so chilly at night we have to shut the fan off. So hasn't been that big of a deal. And then the standard restroom, Western toilet, thankfully, and shower, which is very, very cold. There's no hot water. Those two levers there, this is not hot. This is just lever. This does not indicate heat. So, and that's about it. And that covers our entire adventure to Bogor. And we're going to now try to get on out of here. This is typical of Indonesia, no smoking. And then you walk through a big cloud of smoke on the way to whatever. No smoking is really a recommendation, kind of like the lines on the road, which nobody follows. But it's all good.
Today was a typical travel day for us, and our destination was Bali. To get to Flores. So this morning we woke up in Bogor, and we managed to find our way to a little bus that our hotel lady had told us about, and this little mini bus takes you to an international airport bus station. And it took us a while. Once the little mini bus dropped us off, we went to the wrong side of the road, and then we went back to the other side of the road, and we found the place by talking to some police officers. And in the States, police officers really don't seem that helpful because they're in cars and you never see them on the streets or anything, but they're on the streets here, so we can ask them questions, and they're very helpful. So they got us on the right bus, and on that bus, when you step onto the bus and you go up the steps and then you go back to all the chairs? Well, that area where you step on the bus, that's where we sat, because they were fully booked. We barely even had seats, but they had made these little cushions onto plywood that we could sit on. And it was fine. We rode for about an hour and a half to Jakarta, and that bus ride was 30,000 rupees, which is $3. Rupa. Whatever. You sound like I'm in Zelda. So that was $6 for the both of us. So then once we got to Jakarta, we went to the airport, and it took us a while to find Lion Air, and we went through all these different means to get a credit card swiped, and we finally got that done, and our tickets were 1,138 rupa.
$120.
$120, and we got onto our plane, which was a pretty hefty plane. It was big, but it wasn't packed with people. There were still some open seats from Jakarta to Bali. And from Bali, once we got there, we got off of our plane, and they put us on a little bus, and that little bus went about 60 feet from, we walked out onto the runway, kind of, into that little bus, and that bus went the 60 feet, and then it let us off at the terminal, and we walked out there trying to find if we could get a ticket to Flores, either that night or what it would be the next day, and none of the places were open, so we took the book's advice and we started walking out of the airport, going for the vehicle exit, and we got touted by a million people, and they're so annoying. Even when we got to the outside of the airport, this guy was just sticking to us like glue, asking us, taxi, 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 where are you going, taxi, taxi. drove me nuts, and I got a little angry. We ended up walking like 3 blocks, and we found a really expensive hotel, and we decided we weren't going to stay there, but we were approached by a guy named Sunny, and he brought us to the hotel that we're in right now, which has a pool, and it's $35 a night, which is really out of our budget, but it's convenience to get us to the airport tomorrow so we can just walk there and not have to worry about getting a taxi and knowing if they're going to take us there. Security is everything. And our hotel room is pretty nice. It's your typical Holiday Inn with 2 twin beds and no bathtub. So that's where we're at, and $35, and it's time to swim.
I am in my underpants in the pool.
Today was a typical. You're gonna start that